All right, we got Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. I took the picture of both of them so you can see, this is young Steve, this is old Steve. Where is that glare coming from? What is that? Anyways, a little frustrating. Oh, look, they even got more pictures in here. Let's look at some pictures, right? Pictures are always fun. Okay. A portfolio of Diana Walker photos. All right. Let's look at it together. So we got this one right here. This is at home in Woodside, 1982. He was such a perfectionist that he had trouble buying furniture. I could see that. And if you've never been to Woodside, Woodside's kind of like in the mountain or in the trees and everything. It's a nice neighborhood. In the kitchen, coming back after 7 months in Indian villages. Okay, I saw the craziness of the Western world as well as its capacity for rational thought. So that's after going to India for a little bit. Here he goes over here. Okay, so this is with Lisa, the computer. Oh, wow. This is him with John Scully, or what is his name? Yeah, Scully in 1984. This is the year I was being born. Wow. He's already old. You know what I mean? That's just crazy when you think about how these people are when I was a kid. Do you want to spend the rest of your life selling sugared water, or do you want a chance to change the world? Then this is Next, 1988. Here, right here. I like what he says right here, right? Listen carefully what he said because this probably changed everything for him. He said at Boston Macworld, as Gates discusses their deal, he said, this is what he says. This was my worst and stupidest staging event ever. It made me look small. Because if you've noticed after that, he was always on stage by himself. And he was center of attention. That's kind of cool. All right, so there's him and the family, I guess, in '03. They're in Italy. Here's Laureen, Lisa, and Steve. Lisa moved into their home shortly afterwards and stayed through her high school years. Right here. And this is kind of cool, man. Right? You get to see, the real life Steve Jobs, man. This is cool. Because what, he's been gone for like 10 years? Yeah, that's cool. Oh, I saw something. Sorry. We're reading right here. Two things, actually, in one paragraph that I like. So we're going to start from the top page. Clow and his team tried a variety of approaches that praise the crazy ones who think different. They did one video with the Seal song, Crazy. We're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy, but couldn't get the rights to it. Then they tried versions using a recording of Robert Frost reading The Road Not Taken and of Robin Williams' speech from Dead Poets Society. Eventually, they decided they needed to write their own text. Their draft began. Here's to the crazy ones, right? Jobs was demanding as ever. When Clow's team flew up with a version of the text, he exploded at the young copywriter. This is shit, he yelled. It's advertising agency shit. I hate it. It was the first time the young copywriter had met Jobs, and he stood there mute. He never went back. But those who could stand up to Jobs, including Clow and his teammates Ken Siegel and Craig Tanimoto, were able to work with him to create a toned poem that he liked. In its original 60-second version, it read, I like this, dude. I'm gonna have to read this book. I like how Steve Jobs is. Here's to the crazy ones. Here's to the crazy ones. Excuse me. Let me get ready for this speech. Woo! Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Boom. They take that, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do. They use that as like Steve Jobs' quote, right? But it's not. It's the original copy of that's awesome, dude. That's really cool. All right, let's get back to the story. We got like another minute and a half. Jobs who could identify with each of those sentiments wrote some of the lines himself, including, they pushed the human race forward. By the time of the Boston Macworld in early August, they had produced a rough version. They agreed it was not ready, but Jobs used the concepts and the think different phrase in the keynote speech there. There's a germ of a brilliant idea there, he said. At the time, Apple is about people who think outside the box, who want to use computers to help them change the world. They debated the grammatical issue. If different was supposed to modify the verb think, it should be an adverb, as in think differently. Hold on. But Jobs insisted that he wanted different to be used as a noun, as in think victory or think beauty. Also, it echoed colloquial use, as in think big. Jobs later explained, we discussed whether it was correct before we ran it. It's grammatical if you think about what we're trying to say. It's not think the same, it's think different. Think a little different, think a lot different, think differently wouldn't hit the meaning for me. I like that. He's very articulate, right? Very articulate. In order to evoke the spirit of Dead Poets Society, Clow and Jobs wanted to get Robin Williams to read the narrative. His agent said that Williams didn't do ads, so Jobs tried to call him directly. He got through to Williams' wife, who would not let him talk to the actor because she knew how persuasive he could be. They also considered Maya Angelou and Tom Hanks. At a fundraising dinner, man, imagine if Robin Williams did say that speech. That would have, wow. These people didn't think forward. Just imagine. That would have been, Robin Williams he's already living on for life, but he would have really lived on for life with that. At the fundraising dinner featuring Bill Clinton that fall, Jobs pulled the president aside and asked him to telephone Hanks to talk him into doing it, or talk to him into it. But the president pocket vetoed the request. They ended up with Richard Dreyfuss, who was a dedicated Apple fan. In addition to the television commercials, they created one of the most memorable print campaigns in history. Each ad featured a black and white portrait of an iconic historical figure with just the Apple logo and the words "Think Different" in the corner. Making it particularly engaging was that the faces were not captioned. Some of them, Einstein, Gandhi, Lenin, Dylan, Picasso, Edison, Chaplin, King, were easy to identify, but others caused people to pause, puzzle, and maybe ask a friend to put a name to the face. Martha Graham, Ansel Adams, Richard Feynman, Maria Casas, Frank Lloyd Wright, James Watson, Amelia Earhart. Most were Jobs' personal heroes. Damn, we're running out of time. I'm sorry. They tended to be creative people who had taken risks, defied failure, and bet their career on doing things in a different way. We can't read anymore, I'm sorry. However, boom, great book already. I like the pictures, but I'm even more inspired from the story. So this is one of the, if you want to read along with me, then like buy it now with Amazon. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna be able to read this whole book, because like I got a lot of other things I got to read first. However, eventually I will have this book and we can go over it together. So I'm gonna read it, have my notes, and then basically just have discussions, because this is fascinating. All right, and that, if you want that, then just look down and there'll be a place you can give me the email, and once I have it done, then we'll start. All right. See you later.